Hi Badass Barrel Racers, I'm Laura Jakowski. I'm going to show you how I train some amazing barrel horses right here. Hi all you Badass Barrel Racers.
Laura Jakowski, I'm the highest phone.
Hot in the kitchen, fires reach the skies. I got a fever from the visions, and it's pure desire. What's going on, heaven? It's hotter than July.
Now, if you haven't seen my other video on cold weather safety and riding your horse through the snow, make sure you watch that one first. I'll put the link up here. So go ahead and watch that. And if you like all my videos, be sure to like them and click subscribe because we got a ton more coming and a ton more crazy shit like this. I have trained quite a few horses by just going around these trees in quite a bit of snow and then hauling them to a barrel race and running the barrels. And so they really haven't even seen a barrel by the time they get to a barrel race. And I have a good example of that. Midge, Flash of Firewater, who I won 2016 NBHA State Championship on, her very first barrel race, she had only been loping around the barrels in about 4 feet of snow before she got there, and she did amazing. So I'm going to show you how I trained her and how I train a lot of my horses. So again, cold weather safety, but we're going to go ahead and take a cruise around these trees. We just got a nice fresh dusting of snow, and my horses are pretty fresh, so this should be interesting. Yeah, that's what I thought. So the point of my exercise here is I want them to be listening to my body the entire time. Because I have these trees obviously randomly set up and we don't know which tree we're gonna go around next, so it's all in them listening to my cues in my seat, and what I'm trying to practice too is not using my hands. So I'll just use my body to go ahead and cue her to go the other way. I'm really not touching her face at all. I'll go ahead and ask her here to come around. And what it does is it teaches your horse a lot of rate, and it teaches them run, sit, turn. So I also had another horse that I trained during the winter. Her name was Daisy Joe. She was my futurity horse from last year. And I decided to go ahead and haul her to Texas in February, and we had never even exhibitioned or done anything like that. We got down to Texas, she finally got to see some dirt, and she did amazing just because she learned how to run and turn. And it also teaches them where to place their feet and how to stay upright, and it teaches you how to feel when they're slipping as well and how to help them with their feet. Another thing you want to make sure and be conscious of when you're doing this exercise is to make sure they're not ever cutting you off, because they're gonna want to go see, she's a little fresh. They're gonna want to go to the barn, like the barn's over that way for her, and we want to make sure that she is listening and not cutting me off, because if they're gonna anticipate even going around these trees, they're damn sure gonna anticipate going around a barrel. So remember, even though I am going around trees in the field, I am still always barrel racing. I can do this at a lope as well, but this is our first snowfall, so the ground's a little slick as you can see, so probably won't be loping today. But as you can see, I'm turning this tree. Like, if you even want to go to your saddle horn and turn it like a barrel, you sure can. So I'll come around like this, I'll go like this, go to random tree, let her go, sit, turn. It's just a great exercise, and it gets their mind really thinking. They actually have a lot of fun doing this. It's really great too for a horse that has been a little blown up on the barrels, and they really like to go through and turn still. but then they can go through the snow, because usually those horses that are a little blown up, they really like to work, so they really enjoy something like this. The other thing that's really important when you're riding through my trees is to be really intentional and pick your spots to where you're going. And what I mean by that is you're gonna pick which tree you're going around, instead of being like, oh, she wants to turn this tree, I guess we'll turn this one, or she'll go over here or go over there. I'm not saying go ahead and pick out a pattern ahead of time, but you choose which tree you're gonna go around, or rock or obstacle, whatever you have in your pasture, and then you want to pick the next one by the time you're done with the first one. So it's like you want to be really intentional with where you're going. I kind of compared it to when I was mowing lawn this summer, because I like to mow lawns just like I ride horses. I go really fast, and if I'm not picking where I'm going, then I kind of lose control and go all over the place, and it's just a shit show. So same thing with what you're doing here is you want to pick to where you're going, pick to the next tree just to make sure they're not leaning on you, or they're not anticipating anything or wanting to go back to the barn, all that good stuff. So just another quick tip. For more cool tips and tricks, make sure you go to badassrodeoco.com, and you can also order my new book, which is really exciting, and it turned out 1,000 times better than I was ever anticipating. Barrel racing is life. We go ahead and set goals and map out a very specific way that you can accomplish them, and you can keep track of daily records for your horse so you can accomplish those crazy ass goals that you want to do. So again, go ahead and be subscribed. Thanks, guys.